New York City, put your hands together for the Puerto Rican rattlesnake, Luis J. Gomez!
This is fucking great. I'm so excited to be here. This is really exciting. A lot of you guys probably know me. For those of you that don't know me, I just turned 41 years old on April Fool's Day. Thank you. April Fool's Day is my birthday, and I became a comedian. Isn't that the perfect birthday for a comedian? Isn't that ironic? Isn't that perfect? That's nothing. I have another friend who was born on Columbus Day, and he's a murderer and a rapist, so... Yeah, we always talk about it. We're like, dude, I know we were born to do what we do. This is fucking crazy. I know that I'm getting older because of the way that all of my friends talk. I'm on a diet right now, and I was telling my buddy the other day what I do when I'm on a diet, and he goes, yo, bro, your diet's so gay. He called my diet gay. Who calls a diet gay? That's crazy, right? This is what I do. If I'm eating a cheeseburger, I'll take the bun off the burger, then I'll mush it in the shape of a cock, and I'll shove it up my ass. I start fucking myself with the cheeseburger bun right at the table. He's like, holy shit, dude, that's really gay the way you're shoving that cheeseburger bun into your asshole. I'm like, okay, boomer, I guess I'm gay. I love crazy white bitches. That's my type. The crazier, the better. Fuck yeah, any crazy white bitches here? Couple, yeah. They're getting very popular. They're making documentaries about them now. I watch all the crazy white bitch documentaries. You guys see the Casey Anthony documentary? Oh my God, how hot is Casey Anthony? Holy shit. Do you see her ass? You see that one picture of her ass? I'd say she has junk in the trunk, but I feel like that's insensitive, you know? She murdered her daughter. Imagine what she could do to my cock. That is a dark bitch. You know she's good in bed. She murdered her child to go out and get laid. That was the first time that I realized that a woman could transition to become a man. I watched the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Amber Heard is one of my favorite crazy white bitches. She's so hot, oh my God. And she's a crazy bitch. What was the big thing that came out of that trial? She shit in his bed, right? That's a crazy bitch, she shit in his bed. You wanna know how hot she is? He fucking took her back. It didn't end there. They stayed together for months after that. That's some good pussy, right? She's so hot, I'd let her shit in my bed, on my couch, on my kitchen counters. I would put wee-wee pads all over the house. I would treat her like a new puppy, I really would. If she fucked up, I'd rub her nose in it, hit her with a newspaper, be like, no, Amber, bad Amber. My favorite crazy white bitch out of all of these chicks was this chick, Michelle Carter. This is not as famous of a story, but it's a great one, okay? If you haven't heard this story, it's about two teenage kids. They were like 19 years old. They were dating for a while. And I guess when the girl went to go break up with the guy started threatening to kill himself, as we do. If you're not threatening to kill yourself, were you ever really in love? That's what I say. I threaten to kill myself anytime I argue with my girlfriend. I'm like, I will not do the dishes. I'd rather kill myself, you whore. I would rather die than take out the trash right now, just so you know. Put that on your fucking conscience. So this guy starts threatening to kill himself, right? And the girl, she's a hot 19-year-old girl, and she's mad at him. So her reaction, obviously, she's like, fucking kill yourself, you pussy. I want you to kill yourself, you little bitch. I bet you don't have the balls to kill yourself. She starts texting him this, right? That kid, he fucking killed himself. He did. Yeah, he did. And they took that girl's text messages and they put her on trial because they said that she coerced him into killing himself. And they actually put that girl in jail. And that girl should not be in jail. That girl should be in sales. You know what I'm saying? That bitch is a closer. What are we doing? Get her on the phones. They say that in sales, right? The ABCs of sales, right? Always be causing your boyfriend to fucking kill himself. It's an old saying. My last girlfriend was, she was a crazy white bitch. She was, my current girlfriend's a crazy white bitch. They're all crazy white bitches, right? She was crazy, like she would always cry. She cried about everything. She was very young. I was 40 when we were dating, she was 26, so there was a really big age gap by now. And 26-year-olds, they're fucking emotional. They're, you know, very young. She cried so much, it was like my relationship was a Smashing Pumpkins album. That's how I described it. But she was 26, so she didn't get the reference. She was like, what does that even fucking mean? I had two pet names for her. It was Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. That's what I would call her while she cried in the bedroom. I really would. She's like, I don't get it. Then after a little while, she started to catch on. I remember one time I was like, hey, babe, what's wrong? She's like, I don't know, the world is a vampire. She almost tricked me into getting her pregnant like a month into the relationship. She almost tricked me. This is what happened. We're having sex. Right in the middle of it, she goes, come inside of me. Yeah, she tricked me. And I'm a guy, so I'm like, okay. I fired her right in there, doggy. I didn't even know this bitch. I grabbed her by her ankles, held them up, let gravity do its work. I didn't give a fuck. It's like a 20-second period where you just really want to make a baby, you know what I'm saying? But then after that wears off, after like 30 seconds, you're like, what the fuck did I just do? You can't come inside of a crazy white bitch. So you know what I did? I jumped up out of bed and I threw her down the stairs. I swear to God that's true. I threw her right down the fucking stairs. Hold on, then I ran down the stairs, I kicked open the front door, I dragged her back up the stairs, then I flipped her on her belly, I rode her back down the stairs like a sled, like Home Alone. You guys remember Home Alone? I was like, right out the front door, onto the lawn. You guys remember Home Alone? I hit her in the head with a paint can, I was like, bang. I blowtorched the top of her scalp. I was like, keep the change, you filthy animal. Everything else I'll be doing tonight will be jokes. That was the only true story that I wanted to share with you guys. I really wanted to. The girl that I dated before that was Puerto Rican. Latina chicks are out of their fucking minds. You do not want to cross them. They will try to ruin your life. You know what she would do? This is what we would get into arguments, right? And then she would make me cry while we were arguing. And then she would secretly videotape me crying and threaten to post it on the internet to embarrass me. She's like, why are you crying, you faggot? I'm like, are you taping me? And I smacked the fucking phone out of her hand. Now this bitch has me on camera assaulting her. Fucking part of her master plan. She was my ride or die. That was my ride or die girl, right? Is anybody dating a ride or die? You are? Yeah, leave them right now. They're lunatics. Half the time they die. It's in the name, ride or die. I think you can always tell the type of woman you have when you're about to get into a fight with another man. I think there's 3 types of women in the world, and they show who they are when you are about to get into a fight, okay? First type of woman does not get involved. You do not want to have your girlfriend get involved if you're about to get into a fight with a guy, right? First type of woman does not get involved. About to get into a fight with a guy, like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. She stays out of it. That was my last girlfriend. She used to be in the corner of the room crying. Good, bitch, cry over there. I got this. Second type of woman, you're about to get into a fight with a guy, like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Usually this is like a Puerto Rican girl or a Dominican girl, right? Then in your peripheral, you see she's like cracking her neck and taking her earrings off. You're like, what is she doing? Why is she stretching? She's touching her toes? What's happening? Then out of nowhere, she fucking jumps into frame and Superman punches the guy in the face. So now you and your girlfriend are fighting 6 guys in a Wendy's parking lot somewhere because you got a ride or die bitch. Third type of woman, usually this is like your wife or you've been with her for a long time. She's sick of your shit. You're about to get into a fight with another guy, like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Then she's right in your ear going like, oh my God, you're such a fucking idiot. Every time we go out, you do this. You're an embarrassment to me. You're an embarrassment to yourself. Blah, 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 blah. So now you and that guy have to beat the shit out of her because he's got a girl like that at home. He's like, dude, let's just fuck her up. She sucks. Let's beat her ass. I just moved out of New York City during the pandemic. I moved to the suburbs. I live in Jersey now. People hate on it, but I love it, dude. Jersey's cool, man. Thank you. Dude, it was getting crazy. During the pandemic, New York City was fucking wild, dude. There was homeless people everywhere. People were getting attacked in the streets. It was too much. This is my final straw. I was in my apartment one night. I had my window open really late at night, and I heard a woman screaming for help somewhere in the distance. And when you hear a woman screaming for help in New York City, you don't really know where it's coming from, you know? It's just what I hear in the middle of the night. I hear, someone help me! Anybody! If you can hear my voice, do something! So I jumped up out of my bed and I ran over to my window and I was like, shh. I gotta get some sleep, baby boy. What am I gonna do? I don't know where the fuck she is. Where is she? I'm gonna call 911. What am I gonna say? 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, there's a woman somewhere. Good luck finding her. Find her. You know? That's not my fault. That's her fault. That's a lesson to all the women in here. If you're being attacked in a big city like New York, be more specific about what's going on. That's what I say, right? She should have been like, someone help! I'm on the northeast corner of 125th and Frederick Douglass in front of the fucking Popeyes. There's a homeless guy drawing a swastika and shit on the bus stop. Send help. It's always fucking white chicks, right? It really is. It's white chicks that got no street smarts. That's the truth, right? That's the best thing that came out of the pandemic, by the way, is that we all hate white chicks now. Doesn't that kind of rule? Do you remember before the pandemic, white chicks were like this protected class, like they were also minorities? That's fucking crazy. White chicks, the most privileged out of everybody. They're white women. Imagine that. Sometimes you see a poor white woman, you're like, what the fuck happened there? You couldn't parlay your white pussy into riches? That's crazy. If you're poor and you're a white woman, clean your pussy, take a business class. That's what I say. Get an online business class and just clean it out. We started calling white women Karen during the pandemic. I love calling white women Karen, watching them lose their fucking minds. It's the best. Have you been called Karen before, miss? That would hurt though, right? It would. That's like the N-word for white women, right? It's probably worse than the N-word, right? It's not. What's wrong with you? She went, it is. I have a child. He's 10 years old. He just graduated the 3rd grade, first in the family, very proud. And great, he's doing great. And it is very difficult having kids, right? It really is, especially like now, because it's scary, dude. Scary fucking times, man. I think we're on like the verge of nuclear war, I believe. That's what the news says, right? Am I the only one who thought that Ukraine was a city in Russia my entire life? I swear to God, I thought they were attacking themselves. I was like, holy shit, Russia's attacking themselves. We can't beat them. Imagine you go to fight a guy, he starts punching himself in the face. You're like, this guy's a fucking lunatic. There's no beating him. I think that's a trick of the media. It's a trick of the news, right? They keep us watching. They talk about nuclear war so much. They did that with North Korea a few years ago. Do you remember that? They were like, North Korea could hit us with their nukes. And I was like, no way, they can? They were like, yup, they can. Then I looked it up, and I found out that North Korea could only reach Hawaii with their nukes. I was like, okay, that's not us. You could fucking kill Hawaii right now. I wouldn't lose any sleep, I swear to God. What the fuck? What even are Hawaiians? Have you ever seen a Hawaiian in real life? Like, fucking pineapple Mexican looking motherfuckers. Are they Asian? Are they Mexican? Who knows? I don't like them. I don't trust them. I said get rid of them. Yeah, man, having a kid, it is very difficult, you know? It's really hard. I'll tell you my biggest fear for my son. Do you remember in like the 9th or the 10th grade, everyone started experimenting sexually? Everyone started doing like blowjobs and handjobs and shit, right? I had 2 friends of mine who were really nerdy, and they couldn't get any girls to hook up with them. So eventually they got so sexually frustrated that they just started sucking each other's dicks after school every day. Yeah, and these guys are not gay, by the way. I see them now on the holidays with their families. They give me that look, they're like, dude, shut the fuck up. And that's my biggest fear for my son. Not that he'd be gay, just that he'd be such a dork that he would have to suck his best friend's dick after school every day. How much worse would that be? How terrible would that be? What would you do if you caught your son sucking his best friend's dick? I would do the same thing my mom did when she caught me smoking cigarettes. I would sit him down in his bed, I would make him suck 20 dicks in front of me. I'd make him suck an entire pack of dicks right there and then. Unfiltered. Until he was sick, until he was green in the face, full of cum, just puking everywhere. Like, have you learned your lesson? Have you sucked enough cocks? All right, go play, you little knucklehead. And hey, Merry Christmas. Yeah, that was a Christmas joke the whole time. Like how Die Hard's a Christmas movie, that was also a Christmas joke. It took place on Christmas morning. You know, I'm from a different time. I'm from the 90s. I'm trying to raise my kid right, but I was raised wrong. This is truth. You remember what the 90s were like? Fucking listening to Limp Bizkit, date raping. Do you remember how much we would date rape? By today's standards, not by, like, For then it was okay. By today's standards, from 1999 to 2006, I was a serial rapist. I got to be honest with you guys. They should have put a stop to my antics a long time ago. They said having sex with a drunk chick is rape. That's all I did. Do you remember what it was like back then? You wait till the end of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning, the lights would come up, the bar's closing, you'd be looking for the ugliest, drunkest chick to go home with. And she'd be looking for the ugliest, drunkest guy. And it was you. You'd make eye contact, you go home, you rape each other. Nobody gave a fuck. I thought I was a feminist for a few years. You remember what feminism was? You remember what feminism was for a while? It was like free the nipple, anti-slut shaming. All the girls were like, we're feminists. We're gonna fuck and suck everybody. And all the guys were like, we are also feminists. This fucking rules. Feminism is great. And then we all fucked and sucked, right? And then a few years later, the Me Too movement happened. And all the girls were like, hey, remember all that fucking and sucking we did? We're like, yeah. We're like, what happens to rape? We're like, oh, we were trying to rape anybody. We were just trying to party. True, man. I am trying to raise my son for today, though, so I have to be more woke, right? To raise a kid in 2023, I have to be more open-minded and progressive. But it is very hard to teach an old dog new tricks. We were walking through the mall the other day, and we walked past Victoria's Secret. And you want to know what I noticed about Victoria's Secret now? All the angels, they became fat demons. They are so fat now. They fell from heaven into a pile of angels' food cake and just started fucking shoving their fucking faces into it. I don't know what the fuck happened to the angels. That's not a halo, that's an onion ring. They fucking take it down. They got 5 fat angels now and 1 retarded one for no reason. I don't know if you guys noticed that. They got a retarded angel. She's got 1 wing bigger than the other wing. She just flies in a circle. I'm trying to be progressive for my 10-year-old, you know? So I'm like, James, don't you want to fuck these fat retards? How great would that be? It's fucking crazy. We didn't have fat models when I was growing up in the 90s. The only time we had fat models was those novelty birthday cards you buy at Spencer's Gifts. You guys remember those? Remember there was a whole section of like birthday cards with 500-pound fat chicks on them and micro bikinis? They were sad. They knew we were making fun of them. They were like... You give it to your buddy, you're like, get it? She's fucking fat, that's the whole joke. It's fucking hilarious, right? You write something really clever on the inside of the card, like I would have gotten you a cake, but this fat bitch ate it. Happy birthday. They're making the movies very inclusive now, very woke. I think it's good. I think white people have had it too good for too long. Some people get very upset. They made The Little Mermaid black. Some people were really mad about that. How do you not have bigger fish to fry, I mean? Thank you. Yeah, it's a fish joke. And fried fish, it's a black joke. I got the black chick involved too. She got excited, you saw that? She's like, ooh, tartar sauce, hell yeah. I think it's great that The Little Mermaid's black. I really do. They're gonna change the movie, obviously. I didn't see it, but I'm assuming they changed it, right? Now they're calling it Lil Mermaid, L-I-L... apostrophe mermaid. And Little Mermaid, she can't swim, that's the thing. Yeah. Little Mermaid's afraid of the water. She's afraid of water, she's afraid of dogs. Don't bring a dog around Little Mermaid, she'll lose her fucking mind. The whole movie, she's just sitting on a stoop, braiding her cousin's hair, smoking a blunt. That's the entire movie. Sebastian's there, he's a lobster that identifies as a crab, he's trans. My son loves the new Spiderman series, the Spider-Verse series with Miles Morales. Have you guys seen this one? It's the first ever half black, half Latino Spider-Man. I hadn't seen the movie, but it's pretty amazing because my son was watching the first one a few months ago. He was on the floor in the living room watching it, and I walked in halfway through the movie. I had never seen the movie before, but for the first time I see my son looking at Spider-Man, who has the same skin color as him. My son's Puerto Rican like me, you know? So he's looking at his favorite superhero, and he's got the same skin color as him, and it's pretty amazing, you know? But I hadn't seen the movie, so I was like, who the fuck is this Puerto Rican kid who stole Spider-Man's suit? Spider-Man's about to come fuck him up. Oh, I can't wait, watch. See, Spider-Man is the dorky white kid who probably sucks his best friend's dick after school every day. I've had some experience with these types of people. I tried to write a kid's TV show. I tried to write a cartoon a couple years ago now at this point, and I pitched it, and I thought it was the best idea I've ever had. Obviously, I didn't sell it, or I wouldn't be here. I would have fucking left the Legion of Skanks a long time ago. It was the best idea I've ever had in my entire life, and I'll tell you what it was. It was a cartoon called The Adventures of Baby Hitler, okay? And it's exactly what you think it is. It's about the adventures of little baby Hitler. And he's like 3 years old. He's got a mustache, so you know it's Hitler, but he's a baby, you know? Oh, he's got a dog that talks, a German Shepherd. He's got a German accent. He's like, what are we doing today? It's He does tricks. He sits, rolls over, heels. And they do baby shit, right? He like learns about numbers and dinosaurs and like math and shit, right? It's a very cute educational show. But here's what makes it really unique, okay? Once per episode, a time portal opens up. And a bunch of time-traveling Jews jump through the time portal and they try to fucking kill baby Hitler. They are out for blood. These Jews will stop at nothing to murder this little baby. Sometimes it's like Israeli military Krav Maga motherfuckers. Sometimes it's the guys with the top hats and the curly cues. You don't know who you're gonna get. But every time it's a different set of Jews, and baby Hitler has to fight off these Jews with his dog, right? But it's much deeper than that, you know? It's a paradox. It's like, what came first? These Jews trying to kill baby Hitler, or Hitler hating the Jews? You know what I'm saying? Disney Plus had me physically removed from their offices when I pitched them this TV show, just so you know. The Jews at Disney Plus, no, sorry. I watch a ton of porn. You guys watch porn, obviously, right? You're fucking, I'm looking at you guys. I love porn. I do. I grew up on porn. Porn like came out when like I started jerking off, like internet porn started popping off. So like, it's not I think anybody who's from my generation is sort of addicted to porn, you know? And I've jerked off to almost every type of porn. This is how much porn I've jerked off to. You know what I jerked off to just a few days ago? Boobs. Yeah, I finished porn. I had to start over from the beginning again like it was a book. I was like, that was great. All right, chapter 1, boobs. Once upon a time. I invented a new porn category. I'll tell you what it is, okay? At this point, a lot of porn stars have started retiring from porn, right? Girls that were popular maybe a decade ago. And what they'll do is they'll go on to like radio shows or podcasts or TV shows sometimes, and they will do interviews about the porn industry. And if you guys don't know this about the porn industry, back in the day, the porn industry was really fucked up to women. It's not great now, but it was a lot more fucked up back then, before like OnlyFans and things. These girls dealt with a lot of shit, right? So these girls will go onto these radio shows or podcasts, they'll start doing these interviews, and they will tell these stories, these really dark stories about their time in the industry. They'll talk about how they were abused. They'll talk about, shitty directors and producers that they had to deal with. Very often it'll get very dark. They will warn girls about getting into the porn industry. They'll say, hey, look, you don't want to do this. You're going to have difficulty getting a job in the future. You might have difficulty having kids or having a real relationship, falling in love in the future. Your parents are going to have an issue with it. Sometimes these girls, they start crying. They'll get very, very upset while they do these interviews. So I jerk off to that, those interviews. Yeah, I find those interviews where they're all crying and I'm fucking like, this is the hottest thing I've ever fucking heard. Sometimes I'll pull up the videos that they're talking about, the scenes specifically. I'll have like 5 different screens open, like Minority Report. Is that what I never saw Minority Report. Was that what it was about? Was that a future crime? Am I committing a future crime? I think when we were little kids, we all wanted to have a superpower, right? I wanted to have all the superpowers up until I started going through puberty. And something happens to a little boy. We start going through puberty, and immediately we want to use all of our powers for evil, you know? And by the way, that's the best time of a little boy's life. That first year you're going through puberty, it really is the fucking best, right? You're having orgies with your teddy bears, making your G.I. Joes fuck your sister's Barbies, like, take that, you big bitch. There was a year of my life where I believed in Santa Claus, but I jerked off every day. I would get into trouble. My mom would send me to my room. She'd be like, Santa's watching. I'd be like, ooh, is he? I remember being in the 6th grade talking about superpowers with my friends. And I remember just starting to go through puberty. I got very excited. And I came in. I was like, guys, fuck flying, fuck super strength, fuck super speed. I was like, I want to have X-ray vision so I can see all these girls' titties. How cool would that be? How great would that be? And all my friends were like, oh, shit. Like, oh, you know the meme on Twitter with the black kids? Like, oh, that was my friends, actually. That's me. And except my buddy Dave Green, he had already been going through puberty for a while, so he had already thought about this. He was like, dude, fuck X-ray vision. He was like, I want to be invisible so I could finger fuck these girls in their sleep. I was like, whoa, buddy, you already have a superpower. You're a fucking genius, an evil genius. Why didn't I think of that? Finger fuck these girls in their sleep, right? And obviously, I'm just kidding. I would not. Let me make something very clear, because I see some of the women's faces in the crowd. Can I make something very clear to all the women in the crowd? Ladies, even if I were invisible, I would not finger fuck you in your sleep. I'm not a piece of shit. I wouldn't do that. But if I did, I would make you love it. You would love it, girls. Why? What would happen? You would wake up, there's an invisible entity on top of you, and he's fingering you. So what do you think? Holy shit, it's a ghost, right? There's a ghost in my room, and he's fingering me. So what do? I make it a really cool ghost. Right? I'm like, shh, don't worry, it's me. The ghost of Heath Ledger. Ooh. Now you got a story about getting finger fucked by the ghost of Heath Ledger. That's a great story. You're welcome. A lot of you guys know that I do a podcast called The Legion of Skanks. Not this guy. This guy's like, what the fuck is a podcast? Sarah, it's like a radio show on your phone, if you could imagine that. This guy is deaf and blind, I think. He's a... So this podcast, The Legion of Skanks, it's also known as the most offensive podcast on earth, if you guys don't know. I'll give you an example. One of the podcast episodes was titled Bill Cosby Rape Victim Beauty Pageant. And in this episode, we took all of Bill Cosby's alleged rape victims, alleged, and we put them in order of fuckability from like 1 to 180. It was crazy. It took us like a month. It was nuts. It's a very offensive show, but we have one rule in the show, and the one rule in that show is that we do not apologize for jokes. We don't apologize publicly. Don't clap. We don't apologize publicly for jokes, because we apologize behind closed doors all the fucking time. You guys just don't see it because it's not cool to apologize for jokes on behalf of the most offensive podcast on earth. At this point in my life, I've had to apologize to 3 separate mentally handicapped athletes on behalf of the Legion of Skanks podcast. 3 times. This is how often we're making fun of them, right? The first one was like 8 years ago. There was a mentally handicapped dance team from the Midwest. And these girls got so good at retarded dancing that they made it all the way to the Special Olympics, and ESPN decided to do a feature on them and put them on television. Me and my podcast co-host, we saw that, we thought it was fucking hilarious. First of all, these bitches couldn't dance. What do you want me to say? They had no moves, they had no rhythm. They were just spinning in circles, screaming like lunatics. We had to make fun of them, right? We do a reaction video to them, we're making fun of them, we're challenging them to a dance-off. We're like, we'll fucking destroy you bitches, let's go. One of the girls' moms saw the video of us making fun of their daughters, and she freaked out, rightfully so. Rightfully so. She called the studio, she's screaming, she's yelling, she's threatening to sue us. They put me on the phone to smooth it over. And I waste no time. I apologize right away. I was like, oh my God, miss, I'm so sorry. First of all, I had no idea that retarded people knew how to use the internet, much less subscribe to an RSS feed. Good for her. She goes, you don't have to apologize to me, you have to apologize to my daughter. And then she put her 16-year-old mentally handicapped daughter on the phone. And I apologize very sincerely. And do you want to know what the daughter's reaction was? She goes, duh. No, she didn't do that. Started punching a dog. She jumped through the window, started stomping on cars. We never saw her again. You want to know what her real reaction was? I apologized, and her real reaction, she goes, it's okay, I forgive you. I know, I felt like a piece of shit. I was like, that's it, we've learned our lesson. We're never making fun of another mentally handicapped athlete again. So here we are 2 months later watching ESPN. And I shit you not, there is a mentally handicapped boxer from England who got so good at retarded boxing, he made it all the way to fucking ESPN. We had to make fun of him. He had no moves, he had no rhythm, he couldn't fucking box. By the way, the name of that episode of our podcast was Beat 'em Downs. It's not okay. I know it's not okay. It's wrong, and I've accepted that now. Same thing, the kid's family was furious. They called the studio, they're screaming, they're yelling. This time it was the kid's brother, really letting me have it for like 20 minutes, making me feel like a piece of shit. But it was a lot worse this time, because he had a British accent, so I thought I was talking to the retarded kid the whole time. He's like, we saw your video, we thought it was poppycock. I was like, oh, this poor kid, he can barely speak. Poor guy. And the third mentally handicapped athlete that we had to apologize to on behalf of the Legion of Skanks podcast was Brendan Schaub, who is a comedian and a former MMA fighter. All right, New York City, I gotta go. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Truly the best.